Hello. I've come to Rita Woodoo today, and my purpose is unknown to me as of yet, unless you count just going for a walk as a purpose, in which case I know my purpose. I don't have an agenda, so I'm just going to have a wander and see if anything strikes me, and if it doesn't, it's just a wander. As you can see, it's really the height of everything being happy in the woods. We're, I guess, in that spring-summer transition. Probably leaning more towards summer now, but everything is just so green in here. And out there, just everywhere really. So yeah, everything is overgrown and crazy. And we're just gonna enjoy the peaceful afternoon atmosphere. Don't often come in the afternoons, mostly morning when I can. Thistles. We've not touched on them a lot, which is a good idea actually, because as you can see they're quite spiky. But it's quite impressive how tall they can get. Some of these are up to 6-7 feet, I think. I don't know a ton about thistles outside of really the fact that goldfinches like them. It's the only thing I really know. Don't know how much variety there is in them. I'm guessing there is some, maybe some that grow shorter and some that grow taller. Nice colour to them though. It's hard to see, but I've just stumbled upon this little patch of mushrooms, which, to be honest, I wasn't expecting yet. Thought they'd be coming in a bit later in the year, but perhaps all the rain we've had recently has led them to show up. Now, these appear, apparently, to be mottle gills. Mottle gills. I'm not sure why. I don't know much more about them than that, if that's even true, because famously you've got to be careful with mushrooms. You don't want to misidentify something. I mean, I don't like eating them, so it's not really a major problem for me, but yeah, pretty small, about an inch or two tall, each of them. So there is something that's been on my mind, another thought thing, and then interestingly, I was talking to my wife while we were out walking the other day, and she mentioned the very same thing, which I guess has confirmed that this is something that we'll chat about in this video. And that is, I mean, it's totally unwood related. I don't think I can really relate it in. It's just more of a general musing. But it's about how really how much we keep ourselves to ourselves. And what I mean by that is not just in a town not saying hello to people. I mean keeping your inner true person kind of locked away so as not to show it to people, really. And I think there's all sorts of reasons for that, some of which I think are reasonably legitimate. If you're doing something business related, well then you want to give the best impression you can, right? But it also, I think, bleeds into other areas of your life. I think with different people you reveal different sides of yourself, and to an extent I think that's natural. You don't want to give all of yourself away to everybody, but the sort of essences of who you are, or what you like and feeling like, well, I shouldn't tell them that I like this because they will judge me for that kind of thing. That, I think, is not so good. I guess the easiest example for myself is that I think if I really was doing what I really wanted to do, I'd just be dressed like you know, a medieval bandit or something. That's just a style I like. If that was a bit more normal or achievable, it is achievable if I really tried. But I guess what I'm saying is the aesthetic that I would choose to present of myself, I don't, and that's mostly just because I don't want to deal with how other people are going to take it. I'm actually quite impressed by anybody that does just fully express themselves in that way. I know people often get looked at and either mocked or definitely judged for doing such things. But I mean, in some ways, they're the most free people, right? They're just being what they want to be and how they want to be. And I think that's actually pretty cool. I have not got to that point, and I don't know that I ever will, really. But that's like one example of how you present. There's all sorts of things, how much you want to share with people. I was going to say notoriously in my own brain, I am always worried what's somebody going to think about what I do, what I enjoy, just me being silly in my own way. And I worry how that's going to get taken, where arguably I should not care nearly as much. So I want, I guess everybody has it to a little degree, I'm guessing. But, I don't know. It's just sad how much of a vice it takes and how hard it is to break out of it, really. Because I think it would be nice to be freer and not worry so much about what other people are going to perceive you as. And then it begs the question of, do they perceive you in the way that you'd want to be perceived? If you're trying to put across this persona, or not persona, but if you're trying to say your best foot forward, we could call it, you're not even really being judged for what you are. They're liking, if they do like what you present, what the other people are liking is not what you are. So you're essentially, lying is a strong word, but you're essentially being liked for something that you're not. And that doesn't make any sense either. So I definitely have some respect for the people that just say, this is what I am, and if people don't like that, that's on them. Obviously that, if they're too antisocial, in terms of, I'm a murderer, if people don't like that's maybe a bit extreme. But hopefully you understand what I mean. Anyway, it's just something that's been occurring to me, and I don't know. I don't know that I'm able to really take action on it. But it certainly is something to think about. I mean, I definitely could take action on it, but it would be a brave move. So, I stay a bit more within my shell in terms of who I am. And I guess doing more creative processes lets you be a bit more of that. So I guess I do explore it in those avenues. But I think somebody just meeting me on the street would not really have any idea what I am. What am I? Okay, so here's something interesting. These, I believe, are some kind of aphid. I've actually been learning about them separately a little bit this week. The black things, obviously the brown things, ants. And I think what's happening here is the aphids are obviously making colonies on this plant. And then the ants, from what I've discovered, are harvesting, I can't remember what it's called, I want to say sundew or something like that. They harvest something from the aphids, and then it's sort of a symbiotic relationship in some ways because they protect them. So I'm not sure entirely how this all works, But I do find it interesting. Obviously there's a lot of other things that like to eat the aphids, but I guess ants don't actually eat them, they just harvest them in a sense. Really interesting. Thankfully these ones are out in the woods where they should be. You don't really want them in your garden, on the whole. But yeah, interesting relationship. So maybe I should caveat my earlier ramblings by saying that I think a lot of the stuff, it's not a huge thing. Dressing a certain way or being a little bit more open with a random person. Definitely not such a big deal. Where I really noticed it was I've worked what would be called customer facing roles for a long time in life, where you really have to put across a jolly, friendly, atmosphere, shall we say. And I can do that, but it wears me down because I think naturally I'm quite introverted, off in my own little world, on a fairly low energy level that spikes when I'm doing something that spikes it, but that is not helping people to find things or whatever it happens to be. So it wears you down. Just smiling every few moments to a stranger, even that is weirdly wearing down. So yeah, it's little things like that I feel like I've noticed it most, and then it's just the conglomeration of overall life. I'll probably survive if I don't dress like a bandit, but then again, if you should see me next week on video looking like Robin Hood, well, I guess I've found my true self. And that'll be the last anyone sees of me. I'll just be living in the woods. Anyway, off we go. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.